Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Conestee Park, home of the Bob Jones University Bruins. Today's game features the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles and your Bob Jones University Bruins. Now introducing the starters for the Screaming Eagles. Number 1, Noah Davis. Number 6, Jack Kraus. Number 33, Caleb Adams. Number 7, Charlie Compton. Number 75, Jared Jones. Number 10, Chathan Kraut. Number 22, Jacob Barjol. Number 23, Eli Samuel Vasquez Garcia. And now your starters for the Bob Jones University Bruins. Number 5, Riley Ramsey. Number 36, Colby Hogan. Number 38, Cole Pearson. Number 14, Zach Burke. Number 12, Daniel Barcina. Number 9, Conley Burke. Number 20, Shane Perouche. Number 29, Daniel Wood. Number 1, Chad Bain. And your starter on the mound tonight, number 24, Henry Wallach. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we please ask that you stand for a word of prayer, followed by our national anthem. Dear Lord, we thank you for this beautiful evening you have provided for us. We thank you for this game of baseball. And we thank you for these players and coaches, Lord, who give all they have into this game. Lord, we just ask that you bless this game tonight and keep all the players safe. In your name we pray, amen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here at Conestee Park for tonight's matchup between the Toccoa Falls Screamin' Eagles and, of course, your Bob Jones University Bruins. I am Tyler Lopes, your play-by-play man for tonight's festivities, and I'd like to take a few moments to talk to you about Bob Jones' season so far. So certainly has been a struggle this year. I do believe they are still winless on the season, but nonetheless, they are still looking to come out here and compete tonight against a very game Toccoa Falls team. Last year, Toccoa Falls had a pretty good team. I faced them many times in college. It was actually a tradition at Johnson University to play them opening weekend at their place, and we struggled against them mightily. So certainly a good squad, at least usually. I don't know much about this year's team, but usually a very good team on the other side of the diamond there. Henry Wallach once again taking the mound here for Bob Jones. He appears to have really solidified himself as the Friday night starter for Bob Jones. Seems like every time we are here on a Friday, Henry Wallach is towing the mound, and that is certainly not a bad thing, as consistency and reliability is something that is desperately needed on the mound for every team, not just the Bruins. You heard the starting lineups just a moment ago.
Now coming to the plate for the Screaming Eagles, number 2, Noah Davis.
That's going to bring up Noah Davis. He'll start things out for Toccoa Falls tonight as Henry Wallach looks to get the Bruins in the dugout quickly to open up this ballgame. And the first pitch of today is inside for ball 1. And the 1-0. Swung on and fouled straight back, so the count moves to an even 1-1 for Henry Wallach. Very nice night out here tonight. It started off a little cold today when I woke up this morning, but it certainly has warmed up throughout the day. A little bit of a light breeze as that one is lined and caught by Conley Burke at shortstop. That'll be out number 1. Good piece by Davis, but unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for the Bruins, right to Conley Burke, and that is going to bring up Jack Krause.
I'm going to end up saying Sidney Crosby one of these times. You keep saying that. I'll be like, it's men's baseball. He's not playing.
And that one is swung on and hit out towards right center field. A long run for the right fielder, but he will make the catch for out number 2. And that was certainly a long run for Cole Pearson there, but he's able to get there. And so Henry Wallach quickly getting 2 outs here in the first. And that's going to bring up Caleb Adams, the 3-hole man for Toccoa. And that one is swung on and hit pretty deep out toward right center field again. But Cole Pearson again running over, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So Wallach making quick work of the top of the Eagles lineup. And so we'll head to the bottom of the first inning with the score 0-0.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 5, Riley Ramsey.
All right, and we are back here live here in the bottom of the first inning. And that one is swung on and hit up the middle, and Riley Ramsey, before I even have a chance to introduce him, gets a base hit on the first pitch of the inning. So both offenses being fairly aggressive so far. Granted, it's only been one pitch for Bob Jones, so that might change. But the difference here being that Bob Jones had a little success early in the count. Henry Wallach getting through the top of the first inning in 5 pitches. And that'll bring up Colby Hogan here in the bottom of the first. That one is swung on and fouled straight back for strike 1. So Henry Wallach, as I said, getting through the top of the first inning in just 5 pitches. So certainly a good start for him and for the Bruins. And that one is upstairs and outside for ball 1. Braden Hyde is on the mound for Toccoa Falls, number 11, and a move over to first. Certainly not his best move, just to kind of check on the runner a little bit there. Quick footwork, but obviously a little bit slower in the delivery of the ball. And the 1-1 is swung on and hit down towards second, and a bad read by Riley Ramsey. You're taught in Little League to freeze on a liner, and Ramsey unfortunately did not do that, so that is a double play. Good hit ball from Hogan, unfortunately pretty much right at the second baseman. So that will bring up Cole Pearson, and just as quickly the Bruins are now down here. And that one is swung on and hit high in the air to shallow right field. And unless I'm mistaken, the Eagles just one-upped the Bruins. I believe he just got out of that inning in 4 pitches. So, crazy enough, 9 pitches, and we are through the first. And we're going to head to the top of the second inning here with the score tied at 0. All right, and we are back here live as Charlie Compton will step up for Toccoa Falls. And that one is in there for a called strike 1. And my guess is that the Eagles are going to try and be a little bit more patient on offense here in this inning than they were in the first. And that one is swung on and fouled straight back, or not straight back, but off to the left. Either way, still fouled off. And the count now moves quickly to 0-2, and both pitchers working very quickly so far in terms of their pace, and certainly have been efficient. 9 total pitches in the first 2 half innings, I should say, for these pitchers. That one's inside and downstairs for ball 1. And that one is swung on and hit off to the left, and that one's going to get out of play. So the count remains 1-2.
Can I what? You're already laying there, Mike. Just run. Just go get it. All right. You're already standing. I got Mike, I got you. Mike, what are you here for?
And that one is swung on and fouled off to the left as well. So Compton doing a good job of working the count here.
Yeah, come on, game manager. Balls. You know what, Abby? I wish somebody's job was
And the
that,
1-2.
because I didn't know they...
Swung on and hit over to Chad Bain at second, and he'll throw on to first for out number 1. So Wallach winning that battle, and certainly the Bruins are going to need it. Their pitching has struggled over the last, really over for this entire year, mostly, save for a couple of really good performances. And first pitch is inside, and that hits the batter, and then I also believe hits the umpire. So you got a 2-for-1 prize there for Wallach, but unfortunately you don't win anything. If anything, you probably lose something because the umpire might not want to give you any calls after getting hit like that. But nonetheless, probably not. I'm just kidding around. But they'll give the umpire a couple of seconds to collect himself.
For my countertop.
That's going to bring up Jared Jones, the big lefty for Toccoa Falls. So runner on first with 1 out here.
Jared Jones.
And I know Henry Wallach would love a rollover here. Chance for a double play. And instead he gets a pop-up, perhaps playable along the third base line, and it is caught! Great catch over there by Daniel Wood. Kind of came at it at a tough angle, but certainly it's understandable when you're heading over towards the dugout and trying to look for the ball and look for the steps getting into that dugout, but he made the play, so that'll be out number 2.
Eli Vasquez Garcia.
That's going to bring up Eli Samuel Vasquez Garcia. Or as I will call him for the rest of the stream, Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez. Anybody who knows that character, comment in the comment section, and you could be my best friend for a day. How's that? Sounds good. And a throw over to first, and he gets back safely.
Ever watch what?
And another throw over to first. He will get back safely. And that one is swung on by Garcia and tapped off to the left. So the count moves to 1-1 now.
Yeah, I asked Abe, I'm like, why is Gavin in town? He said he's doing something at BMW. He had something to do with it. Yeah.
And that one is swung on and ripped down the left field line. And they're going to send the runner to third, and a good throw, but it's cut off by Burke. And so first to third go the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles, and with 2 outs, they are threatening here in the top of the second. So this inning going a little bit differently than the first one did for the Bruins, but still a chance to get out of this if they can.
Now batting number 22, Jacob Barjol.
If they can retire Barjol, at least I hope that's how it's pronounced. We don't know. We sound things out and we try. That's about all we can do here. So Jacob Barjol steps in and swings and misses at that one for strike 1. And that one's upstairs. Count moves to 1-1. And the 1-1 is swung on and ripped out to center field. Ramsey will go after it and semi-dive, but nonetheless he will make the catch for out number 3. So Wallach gets out of danger, and we'll head to the bottom of the second with the score all knotted up, 0-0.
Now up to bat for the Bruins, number 14, Zach Burke.
All right, and we are back here live here in the bottom of the second as Zach Burke will take the, I almost said take the mound, take the at-bat, and another swing and drive right up the middle for a base hit. So 2 innings and 2 hits right up the middle for the Bruins to open up the frame. And so that'll bring up Daniel Barcina as the Bruins look to jump out ahead as they were able to get out of a jam
Bruins, number 12, Daniel
in
Barcina.
the top of the second.
The guy that played the butler or housekeeper or whatever. High school together. Oh, nice. No, Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
That one is outside for ball 1.
He refuses to come to like any like reunions because he's out in Hollywood and we're all like, we didn't invite you.
And that one is swung on, and oh, it hits the umpire. And I will say probably luckily for the Bruins, as that had double play written all over it, but the umpire got in the way. And so the rule is that is an automatic advancement of 1 base for everybody. So Burke will advance to second, and obviously Barcina will be allowed to first base. So that's going to bring up Conley Burke. I remember I had a moment like that in high school. I hit a line drive right up the middle with a runner on first, and I hit the umpire right in the stomach. And I felt very bad because I'm not going to lie, I hit it pretty hard, and it hit him square in the stomach, but he was fine, and I was awarded a hit, so yay. But anyway, that one's in there for a strike, so the count moves to 0-1. And a move over to second, and Burke trying to get to third, and he's in there! Very risky from Zach Burke. It looked like he was going on first move, and the move didn't come yet. And the pitcher kind of crazily threw over to second. At that point, if you see something like that, you're trained to step off the mound and run straight at the runner to force him back to the bag and also have a shorter throw. But unfortunately, that did not happen for the Eagles, the coach making his case that he was out at third, and that was very close, I'll give it that, but I will say, from our perspective, he did look like he just narrowly got under the tag, as the catcher gives the first and third signs to his defense. So now the Bruins, half an inning after they got out of their own first and third jam, they are threatening here with a runner on first and third, but this time with nobody out. And that one is swung on and missed, so the count moves to 0-2. Looked like a good off-speed pitch there from Hyde. But I will say Burke did do the smart thing at that point, and that one's chopped down third base line and foul. But he did do the smart thing at that point, which is when you're caught like that, just put your head down and make a beeline for the next base, because you just might be crazy enough and make it, and that time it worked out for him. That doesn't work all the time, of course, but that does happen sometimes. And the 0-2 is swung on and missed. So several consecutive curveballs to Burke, and Burke was not able to lay off any of them. And so he'll go down swinging for the first out of the inning.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 20, Shane Perush.
That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Shane Perush, in the 7-hole for tonight's festivities. And that one in there for a called strike one to Perush. And Perush looking to get a ball in the air, deep enough into the outfield that Burke can score. At the very least, if not obviously a hit of some sort. And that one's in there for a called strike. So Hyde really buckling down here as he's quickly up 0-2 on Perush, as he looks to take advantage of the Bruins' bottom half of the lineup and get out of this jam. And a move over to first, and Barcina gets back safely. Be interesting to see if the Bruins decide to have Barcina go on the move here. Try and at least get the defense to do something, as that one is swung on and hit out to right field. And that's going to be caught out there in right, and Burke got a late start. And the ball is thrown back into first. And I'll tell you what, if that was executed, that would have been a brilliant play, because even with the late start, I don't think they were going to get Zach Burke at home, but if they had doubled off Barcina at first, Burke would not have scored. So a good effort there by the right fielder, but unfortunately it did not work out. So the run does score, and so the score is 1-0 Bruins here in the second. That's going to bring up Daniel Wood. And Wood swings and hits that one down the right field line and out of play for strike one. Like I was saying earlier, it is a beautiful night here at Conestee Park. It's probably about 60 degrees right now. It feels absolutely great, just a light breeze. A perfect night for baseball as far as I'm concerned, as that one's outside for ball one, so the count moves to 1-1 now. I'd like to thank all of you guys that are joining us on YouTube or Facebook Live for this stream right now. Thank you so much for hanging in with us and supporting us. And that one's ripped out into right field, and Daniel Wood with a couple of great swings in that at-bat, and he gets rewarded as that one's in for a base hit. So Bruins trying to add on to their lead here as Chad Bain will swing the stick. So just again, thank you guys so much for joining us, but we do hope that you could come out and join us here at Conestee Park for one of our upcoming games. If you are obviously within the Greenville area, or at least close to it. Obviously, we know that there are a lot of people that watch from all around the country and possibly even all around the world that watch these streams, and we thank you so much for taking the time out of your day or night or whenever you're watching this to join us here today. So thank you so much. And the 1-0 pitch is downstairs, and a good block by the catcher there. Keep that from getting to the backstop. Count moves to 2-0. If you have not heard at this point, every Bob Jones game is free this year. So no, there's no price at the gate or anything like that. You don't have to pay for a ticket or anything like that, or pay for a seat, none of that. So if you do have an opportunity to come out and hang out with us in person, certainly would love to see you here. And the catcher getting visibly frustrated at the lack of execution by Hyde as the count moves to 3-0, and the Bruins looking to take advantage. And I can understand the frustration. You never want to walk the 9-hole batter, and you certainly don't want to do it on 4 consecutive pitches. That's about the worst thing that you could do as a pitcher, is allow the 9-hole hitter to not even take the bat off his shoulder and award him first base. And that's going to bring up Riley Ramsey, who started this game with a single up the middle, and that right now might score 2 more for the Bruins. So they'll certainly look to repeat that action here. And a big opportunity for the Bruins to really pad this lead early. And a slider in there for a called strike 1. 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Bruins leading the Toccoa Falls Screamin' Eagles. 2 out and bases loaded here for Riley Ramsey. And the 0-1 is outside. Great take from Ramsey, as that one looked like it was going to be a strike, but it just kept falling out. And he was able to lay off there. Counts 1-1. And the 1-1. Swung on and missed. That looked like a changeup. And certainly a good time to pull that one out. A 1-1 count is probably the perfect time to pull out a changeup as far as I'm concerned, as a former pitcher myself. The count now moves to 1-2. And if he can establish that changeup, that is just another pitch that the Bruins have to worry about. And that one is swung on and missed. And he'll throw on to first for out number 3. So the Bruins strike for 1, but they do leave them loaded. But we'll head to the top of the third with the Bruins winning 1-0.
Now batting for Toccoa, number 8, Wyatt Helvey.
All right, and we are back here live in the top of the third inning as the Bruins lead 1-0 on the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles, as Wyatt Helvey, the number 9 hitter for Toccoa Falls, steps up to the plate and fouls that one off for strike 1. And the 0-1 pitch is outside, so the count moves to 1-1.
Oh, you mean just like in general? Sports-wise, you're right. Yeah. Free agency. There was a time when...
And that one is swung on and fouled off to the left over towards the fans, but that one bounces right back onto the field, and that throw gets all the way to Conley Burke at short. So 2 balls now flying around the field here. And that one's in there for a called strike 3. Henry Wallach with a nice pitch there, and that will be the first out of the inning. So the 9-hole hitter goes down without a whimper. And that's going to bring up Noah Davis, the leadoff hitter for Toccoa.
Now batting number 2, Noah Davis.
And the first pitch is swung on and fouled off to the left. Talking. And that one is popped foul off to the right, and that'll get out of play. And that one is swung on and fouled straight back. So remaining 0-2 here. And Henry Wallach throwing a lot of strikes here early on. Certainly a good sign for both the Bruins and his pitch count, as obviously in a 9-inning game, you want your starter to be able to go as long as he can, as that one is swung on and ripped out towards center, but pretty much right to Riley Ramsey. He just has to drift a little bit to the right, but he'll make the catch for out number 2. So another quick start to the inning for the Bruins. And if Henry Wallach can keep this up, this is certainly looking like a good time for the Bruins here.
Now batting number 6, Jack Krause.
That's going to bring up Jack Krause.
I feel like we built up a pretty good fan base now with the winning this happened.
And the first pitch to Krause is in there for a called strike 1. Henry Wallach doing a great job getting ahead of batters. Has only thrown had a couple of batters only that have not been started with a first pitch strike. And the 0-1. Swung on and fouled down the third baseline, and the count moves to 0-2 again here. Temperature expected to drop to about 57, maybe 55 degrees by the end of the day. And that one is grounded to Conley Burke, and he'll fire on to first for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for the Bruins, as the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles are going to have to try and bounce back here in the bottom of the third and keep the Bruins from adding to their 1-0 lead. All right, and we are back here live as Colby Hogan will lead things off here in the bottom of the third for the Bruins, as they lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the third, and will look to add to their lead here as Hyde's first pitch is swung on and tapped back to him, and he'll kind of double and triple pump there. I'm not really sure what that was, but nonetheless, he will eventually fire over to first for out number 1. So 1 pitch and 1 out for Hyde, and that'll bring up Cole Pearson.
Now up to bat, right fielder, number 38, Cole Pearson.
And saw Coach kind of giving Pearson some tips about his hand height. Didn't want him to drop his hands. It was one of my most common issues as a hitter. I would drop my hands pretty frequently and end up getting under the ball. So that is certainly relatable. And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Count moves to 0-2 now.
The problem is such a huge undertaking. All these small Christian schools that Bob Jones get their students from, they don't play football. They have like what 5% from.
And the 0-2 to Pearson. Swing and a miss. That'll be the second out of the inning as Pearson goes down on strikes, and Hyde really trying to bounce back here in this inning, and he's done a good job so far, but he's got to face Zach Burke, who's been swinging a hot bat to start the year. and he singled in his first at-bat of this one as well.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 14, Zach Burke.
And the first pitch to Burke is swung on and hit down the first base line, but that's going to get just foul. So Burke gets another shot, and the count is 0-1.
That would be awesome, like just ball hockey. Oh, yeah? Do you have to have your own stick? No, they got a whole barrel for it.
And that one is outside. Count moves to 1-1. Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Bruins our score. 1-1 count to Zach Burke with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. And that one is swung on and hit over to third. And he'll fire on to first, and that will be caught for out number 3. So quick 1-2-3 inning go the Bruins, and we'll head to the top of the fourth with the score still Bruins 1, Eagles 0.
Now batting for Toccoa, number 33, Caleb Adams.
All right, and we are back here live as Caleb Adams will step up to the plate against Henry Wallach, and he'll look to get something going for the Eagles as that one swung on and missed for strike 1. So I wanted to say Nicole Cortez Coiner, I believe, forgive me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but yes, it is the sweet life of Zach and Cody. And so congratulations, you have won the best friend sweepstakes, so you will be my best friend for the next 2 hours, so congratulations. I'm not sure if that's something that you want, but that's what you're going to get, so, deal with it. And that one is swung on and tapped over to short. Conley Burke collects and fires for out number 1. And so both pitchers really pitching well here so far. And that's going to bring up Charlie Compton, the lefty for Toccoa Falls.
Now batting number 7, Charlie Compton.
And this is a performance, at least so far, that the Bruins desperately needed out of their pitching staff. And Henry Wallach has answered the call here. And that one is swung on and hit out to center field. Riley Ramsey started a little slowly, and that one kind of drifted back a little bit on him, but he runs it down and makes the catch for out number 2 regardless. So another quick start to the inning, and I'll tell you, both offenses being very aggressive here, and it hasn't really worked out for either of them so far. But obviously that may change as this game goes on.
I was going to get here in this read earlier.
And that's going to be Chathan Cloutre. At least I believe that's how it's pronounced. Again, we just kind of guess and hope. That should be the title of my memoir. Let's guess and hope. That sounds fair. Would say, yeah. It'll be 11 pages long, and it'll just be one letter the whole time. Just the letter A for 11 pages. I don't know. Anyway. I don't know. Do you think I know what I'm saying? I don't know anymore. All right, that one is just missing for ball 2. Count moves to 2-0. And the 2-0. And that one is outside, so Wallach having a hard time finding the zone here in this at-bat. He's been very consistent in throwing strikes all day, so this is a bit of an outlier here, of course, but that happens sometimes, and that one is in there for a called strike, and Cloutre did not think that that was in there, but it was, so the count moves to 3-1. And the 3-1. In there, and another time that Cloutre was about to toss the bat, and for the second time, he is denied. So the count moves full. The 3-2. Swung on and hit over to third, and a tough time, and unfortunately, that's going to be an error on Daniel Wood, and so the 1-2-3 inning will be avoided by the Eagles on the error. And that is going to bring up Jared Jones. But a good bounce back from Wallach after being down 3-0 in the count to Cloutre. He's able to induce a ground ball in what should have been the third out. But obviously we are all human and sometimes errors happen. But nonetheless, no damage done as of yet. So Wallach will look to get out of the inning here. And the 0-0 is in there for a called strike.
You have to see how I'm doing.
And the 0-1. And the runner goes, but that one is popped high in the air. And that's drifting out of play, but it might be in play. And Wood cannot track it down. It did end up staying in play. But nonetheless, the count will move to 0-2 now. And a rough inning for Wood. He made a nice play over by the opposing dugout earlier, but this has been a bit of a rough inning for him. But nonetheless, that does happen. I've had plenty of those innings myself. The 0-2. Swung on and fouled off to the left.
If anyone's going to pass my cookout on the way. Yeah, guys.
And the 0-2 again. That one is inside, and that actually hits Jones. And so 2 on now with 2 outs in the top of the 4th, and what looked to be a breeze of an inning for Wallach is now turning a bit tense as the Eagles, with a base hit, are threatening to score here.
Andrew Jones no longer playing baseball.
Now batting number 23, Eli Vasquez Garcia.
That's going to bring up Eli Vasquez Garcia. And Wallach steps off. And Garcia came through with a big hit in the second inning. And so that effort again may tie up this ball game, if not give them the lead depending on where it falls. And that one is swung on and fouled off. The count moves to 0-1. And that one is swung on and tapped down the third base line, and that's going to get fouled. So the count moves to 0-2. So 1 strike away from getting out of another jam is Wallach. And it's funny, he's actually alternated good and not so good innings here. Got out of a jam in the second, and now having to get out of a jam in the 4th as that one is popped high in the air over toward us, but that's going to drift off to the left, and that's going to get out of play. Count remains 0-2. And the 0-2 as the runners take off, and that one is absolutely drilled off to the left. That's way foul. Obviously, Garcia ready for that pitch. And Wallach probably needing to mix up his looks here, as it seemed like the runners got a pretty good jump and a pretty good, pretty good lead off of his move there. And a move over to second, as he's just trying to make sure that the runners stay at bay here. And that one just off the plate. Great pitch from Wallach, but that did look like it was just a hair outside, probably a ball or two off the plate. And so the count moves to 1-2 now. But that certainly would have froze Garcia had it been in the zone. And the 1-2. Swung on and popped high in the air on the left side of the infield. Conley Burke calls for it, and he will make the catch for out number 3. And so Wallach gets out of another jam, and we'll head to the bottom of the 4th as the Bruins look to add to their 1-0 lead.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 12, Daniel Barcina.
All right, and we are back here in the bottom of the 4th as that one is swung on and drilled to left field. Left fielder heads back and leaps a little bit, and he will make a tough catch look fairly easy, as that is out number 1. And so, like I said earlier, both teams very aggressive here, and it really has not worked for either of them, as it is just a 1-0 Bruins lead here in the 4th. And I know for the Bruins, they want to add to this lead, as they are probably not comfortable with a 1-0 lead, especially with this much game left to play. So Conley Burke will look to get something going here with 1 out in the 4th. And the 1-0. Swung on and tapped, and that's going to stay fair. And a great play by the catcher there, and that's going to be out number 2. So another quick start to the inning for Hyde, as other than the second inning, he has really put the Bruins to work here, and has been very efficient, thrown a lot of strikes.
Now stepping into the box for Bob Jones, designated hitter number 20, Shane Perouche.
And that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Shane Perouche. And the first pitch to him, is inside for ball 1.
I thought it was just somebody drilling. Yeah. That is a lot, though.
And that one in there for a called strike. Count moves to 2-1 now. And that one swung on and tapped out to short. And a nice running play, but a low throw. And that's going to be off the bag. So Shane Perouche will avoid the 1-2-3 inning. And much like the top half of this inning, it seems like both teams have really mirrored each other in terms of what their innings have looked like. What seemed to be a 1-2-3 inning lost based on an error in the infield. And we'll see if the Bruins can capitalize here, as Daniel Wood will step up to the plate. And Daniel Wood singled in his last at-bat, and he chops that one out to short. And a throw over to second. And so the Bruins cannot capitalize as they go down here in the bottom of the fourth. So we'll head to the top of the fifth inning. Bruins 1, Eagles 0.
Now up to bat for the Screaming Eagles, number 22, Jacob Barjol.
All right, and we are back here live as the first pitch is swung on and hit deep to left field. And that looks like it's going to stay in the park. And a nice play out there in left field by Colby Hogan. And that one off the bat looked like it was going to be a little bit deeper than that, but it's hung up long enough for Colby Hogan to get underneath it and make the catch for the first quick out here.
Number 8, Wyatt Helvey.
And that's going to bring up Wyatt Helvey. As Jacob Barjol didn't even give me enough time to introduce him before he flew out to left, as that one's fouled off the leg of Helvey for the first strike. And like I said, I've said it a few times now, both offenses being very aggressive, and it really has not worked out. Although I will say Toccoa has hit a few balls pretty hard and pretty deep into the outfield, but they have just gotten underneath it enough for the Bob Jones outfielders to track them down, which, of course, Wallach will take, and that one swung on and fouled off, and Helvey upset at himself, felt like he really should have crushed that one. Just barely missed it, so the count moves to 0-2. And the 0-2 just misses for ball one.
That's all that matters.
And the 1-2. Outside. Count moves to 2-2.
Senior. Last semester. As long as I pass it.
And that one is swung on and missed. Great pitch from Wallach. And that will be out number 2 here in the fifth.
Whether it's back home.
And that is going to bring up the leadoff hitter for
Noah Davis. No
the
batting.
Eagles, Noah Davis.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like my life's like.
And that one is swung on and fouled off. And
I'd like to get into
we almost had some casualties back here, but we're good. Count moves to 0-1.
Somehow tied into sports, maybe. Yeah. That could be like a wide variety of.
And that one in there, called strike 2. So the count moves to 0-2, and I feel like we've said that a lot here with Wallach on the mound today. He has certainly thrown a lot of strikes. And the 0-2 outside, good pitch there. Tried to get Davis to fish and almost got him to bite, but unfortunately, count moves to 1-2.
I'd like to maybe working for a radio station. I think that would be fine.
And that one in there for a call, strike 3. Great pitch from Henry Wallach. And that is out number 3, and Wallach threw 5 shutout innings, and he has pitched fantastic so far And the Bruins will look to add to their 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Bruins fans, this is just a reminder to return all foul balls to the nearest dugout. Now batting for the Bruins, number 1, Chad Bain.
All right, and we are back here in the bottom of the 5th as Chad Bain swings and misses at that one. And the Bruins have really had a hard time picking up the off-speed stuff from Hyde so far today. He's been very successful with that, gotten a lot of swings and misses on it. So the count moves to 0-1.
That's not going to hurt him in fantasy next year. Dude, I should have done that.
According to my phone, and that one is swung on and tapped out to second, and that's going to be caught for out number 1. According to my phone, it is 62 degrees. I beg to differ. It's starting to get a little bit chilly up here at Conestee Park. Feels more like it's in the mid to low 50s than it is in the mid to low 60s. It's going to bring up Riley Ramsey.
Now batting for the Bruins, center fielder, number 5, Riley Ramsey.
Okay, watch that.
Swung on and missed. Another off-speed pitch
Like
gets ahead in the count.
5. Yeah, okay. I mean, as long as it's not our guy. Maybe get it a little earlier or wait a pitch or something.
And that one in there for a called strike. So the count moves to 0-2.
I keep seeing they're all cheering for Conley. Oh, yeah, I know. And that's about Conley. Woo!
And that one misses. Count moves to 1-2.
Maybe they're from Wilmington or something. Made the road trip.
And that one's in the dirt. Count moves to 2-2.
Were you a con maybe? Okay. Yeah. This is a cool combo.
Yes, I don't use either one of those now. But yeah, the full combo.
And the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Ramsey goes down swinging for the second out of the inning.
Or what do you maybe you still want?
And that's going to bring up Colby Hogan.
Right now I'm getting an associate in business.
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually work for the press.
Oh, okay.
Project coordinator.
Oh, nice.
I did this during baseball, but I was working here for
And that one is swung on and missed. Colby Hogan definitely went around there.
Do you know?
No need to ask for help from the umpires that time, as that one's obviously
Oh, okay.
the first strike.
All right. I love that kid. You have to give him a rough time.
The 0-1.
He's my
Swung
favorite.
on and tapped over to first, and he will jaunt over to the bag himself for out number 3.
Oh, Mick, nice to see you too.
So the Bruins go quietly in the 5th, and we'll head to the top of the 6th inning with the score still 1-0.
Bruins fans, Chick-fil-A of Taylor's is a proud partner of your Bob Jones University Bruins. Chick-fil-A of Taylor's is located just a few miles from Bob Jones University's campus on Wade Hampton. Go check them out today.
All right, and we are back here live as the first pitch from Wallach is in there for a called strike one. And that one is swung on and hit out towards center field. Riley Ramsey coming on. And actually, it'll be the right fielder. That is Cole Pearson who will call for that one, and he'll make the catch for out number one. So, both offenses really struggling so far today.
Number 33, Caleb Adams.
That'll bring up Caleb Adams, the excuse me, not the cleanup hitter, the three-hole hitter for Toccoa. And that one misses for ball one, and a rare first pitch ball for Henry Wallach. And that one misses for ball two.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can hear that. Oh, I don't know, actually. That you? Okay, I was really good. I'm like, okay.
And that one misses. So the count moves to 3-0 here, so Wallach in danger of walking the three-hole guy.
Yeah.
Certainly not what the Bruins want. Such a close game. And unfortunately, that's what happens. And a big bat flip on the walk and a sprint to first. All right, sure. Let's do that. That sounds good. You know what? I can't say anything. We used to do the same thing, so I can't really judge. I understand. It's gonna bring up Charlie Compton. And honestly, I like the energy. You know what? You guys are struggling on offense. Do something to get your team fired up. I like it. And that one swung on and hit over to first. Burke will tag first and throw on to second, and that's a double play, and that's going to end the inning. And unfortunately, the firing up tactics do not work in this instance, but I still like the effort, as that will be out number 3, and Henry Wallach is through 6 innings, and he has pitched fantastic so far, and we'll head to the bottom of the 6th with the Bruins still winning 1-0. All right, and we are back here live as Cole Pearson behind in the count here. And that one is swung on and missed, and they'll throw on to first for out number 1, so quick work. Hyde makes quick work of Cole Pearson here, and that's going to bring up Zach Burke.
The hand dryer thing wasn't. It feels so weird. My hands are like.
And the first pitch to Burke is downstairs for ball one. And the 1-0. In there for a called strike, so the count moves to 1-1. And the 1-1. Swung on and tapped over to third, and that is a foul ball. Luckily for the Bruins, as that would have clearly been an out. So 1-2 as Burke gets another chance here. Although I will say I have had many times when I was playing third base and I would catch a ball over there thinking that it was foul because, you know, nobody can see a ball where it's on the line better than the person that is standing 6 inches away from it catching it. And so I stop everything I'm doing because I know the ball is foul, and the umpire calls it fair, and I have to cry a little and throw the ball as hard as I can to first base and just look at the umpire like, really, come on, man. What are you doing? Figure it out. Count is 2-2. And that one misses, so the count moves full. And Burke doing the best he can with his second chance here, trying to work his way on base and get something going for the Bruins. They have struggled since the second inning where they got their run, and since then they have been completely stifled by Hyde, who has really gotten ahead and really gotten a lot of outs with that off-speed stuff that he has brought to the game today. Certainly done a great job pitching, at least so far, obviously.
Yeah, you can shut the door.
We shut the door one game.
And another 3-2. Swung on and fouled off to the right. So Zach Burke doing his best to get that pitch count of Hyde's up.
We have a lot of kids here tonight, so that's good.
Burke settles in, and Hyde's 3-2 again. Swung on and fouled off again. He's fouled off the fastball. He's fouled off the curveball. I'm not sure if there's been a changeup in this at-bat. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes from this angle. But Burke is spoiling everything that Hyde has brought to the table, and another 3-2. That one is swung on and hit out to shallow left center, and the center fielder makes a long run, and he'll make the catch. Good at-bat from Burke there, but not able to finish. And Hyde wins that battle in the end, and that'll bring up Daniel Barcina. But Burke, I will say, at this stage in the game, you might as well, if you're going to get out, you might as well at least drive up the pitch count for the starter, try and get him out of the game quicker. So good at-bat from Burke, and that one is swung on and drilled. That's one way to do it, into the gap. Daniel Barcina, first pitch swinging, and he drives it for a double. Daniel Barcina. Great swing there. And forgive me for my surprise sounding there. It has nothing to do with Barcina. It's just honestly been a while since we've seen a ball hit that hard today. So I was not really expecting it, especially first pitch. And a fantastic swing from Daniel Barcina, and that's going to bring up Conley Burke, who would love a single here to pad that lead for the Bruins just a little bit. Obviously, 2 runs will always look better than just 1. That one's outside for ball 1. And the 1-0, and a check swing from Burke. And the umpire doesn't ask for help. Pretty confident that Burke did not go around on that one, so the count moves to 2-0 now. And the 2-0. Downstairs, count moves to 3-0 now. And a walk here certainly wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for the Eagles, but you definitely don't want to walk too many guys in scenarios like this. But with the base open, certainly it wouldn't, again, be the worst outcome in the world. That would just give Shane Peruche one more base runner he could possibly drive home to bring into the gap, but it also allows for the force out to happen for the defense. So if you're willing to trust your pitcher to not give up an extra base hit in that scenario, certainly the walk would not be the worst case scenario for the pitcher here. A hit would be much, much worse, of course, as it would have a chance of driving in that run from second. Umpire just marking down that was a mound visit for the catcher. Obviously, with the new rules, putting a limit on the amount of mound visits a pitcher, catcher, coach, whatever the case may be, can have throughout the game. I believe the rule is 6, if the rule has not changed since last year. But the rule was implemented in the last couple of years, and I think that it's fine. You know, it doesn't really affect the game too much, at least in my experience. And that one in there for a called strike. Burke taking all the way there on the 3-0 count. Count moves to 3-1.
There's a lot of people that don't like that.
And both guys taking their time here. Hyde trying to find that pitch that he wants to throw. And time called again. And I don't know if this is a planned thing here. I certainly have had that called a few times by my catcher, but it looks like Hyde now ready to go, and the 3-1. Upstairs. So after all that, Conley Burke does draw the walk, and that's going to bring up Shane Perouche, as this is a big spot for him and for the Bruins as they look to build upon their lead here in the 6th.
Designated hitter number 20, Shane Perouche.
For those of you just joining us, you've missed quite a bit and yet not much at the same time. Obviously, we are in the bottom of the 6th inning, so quite a bit of the game has already been chewed up. But 1-0 kind of means, yeah, you haven't really missed a ton of crazy stuff going on. Both pitchers have looked dominant so far.
Absolute pitchers.
Henry Wallach has pitched stupendously, if that's even a word.
That is definitely a word.
And if it's not a word, it is now. You can put that in Webster's. If The Rock can make up a word and put it in the dictionary, so can I. That's what I say. I think he actually made up 2 words, if I remember correctly. I believe, if my history serves me correct, the words SmackDown was not a word until The Rock used to say it in his promos. And also, jabroni was just recently added to the dictionary because of The Rock. Little known fact. For those younger viewers out there, The Rock used to be a very prominent wrestler for the WWF at the time, now WWE, of course. Swung on and tapped, and will that get in the hole? It will, and they will stop Barcina at third. And so now bases loaded with 2 outs here in the 6th as Shane Perouche comes through and at the very least passes along the baton to the next batter, which is Daniel Wood, the 3rd baseman tonight.
Now off the bat with the bases juice, number 29, Daniel Wood.
Don't do that.
No. No, check me out. I appreciate it.
All right. And that one's in there for a called strike, so the count moves to 0-2 there.
Daniel Wood.
So Daniel Wood down 0-2, looking to come through here with the bases loaded. And a big spot here, obviously, for both sides. As you know, the Eagles would love to get out of this with no runs given up, and a swing, and that one's, wow! Just rocketed toward the dugout. Doesn't look like anybody got hit, though. And if that had hit somebody, that would have done some damage. That was a hard-hit grounder over there. So the count moves to 0-2, or I should say remains at 0-2 here, as Daniel Wood looking to get something going here, and a great take. And they check him, and he did not go. Probably a good idea to check. It didn't look like he went for sure. It looked like he definitely was able to hold up, but fair enough to check in that instance, especially in a big spot in the game. So good on that umpire for asking for help, even if he didn't necessarily need it in that moment. The 1-2. Swung on and tapped over to second, and a nice job by the runner to avoid that, but right to the second baseman, and he'll throw on to first for out number 3. So the Bruins leave them juiced, and unfortunately, we will head to the top of the 7th inning, but the Bruins still lead 1-0.
Now up for Toccoa, number 10, Chafin Cloutre.
And that one is swung on and ripped up the middle for a base hit. So before I can even introduce anybody or say anything, the Eagles have a lead-off runner on base. And Chafin Cloutre,
always the second option.
a nice job there,
I wish I kind of.
as the Eagles needed something,
Some, cool
anything, to get something started here, and they are running out of time here in the 7th inning.
Now up to bat, number 75, Jared Jones.
It's going to bring up Jared Jones. And I'm sure, again, Henry Wallach would love a ground ball here. He's gotten a couple of double plays already today. And a bunt. And probably a smart idea if you're the Eagles, as you've grounded into a few double plays already, and with nobody out, I'm sure you're willing to trade that out for a runner in scoring position at this point. So as long as he can execute a bunt here, it's probably not a bad call in this spot in the game, down by 1 in the 7th. And a move over to first, and a good move from Wallach, but the runner gets back safely.
5'8", 5'9". He's like a lighter version. He doesn't look 5'8". He probably runs fast.
And another move over to first. And the runner gets back safely again.
Seen Gavin Eubanks being like the fan favorite designated hitter.
Obviously not wanting Cloutre to take the bag for free.
I could have seen it, man.
Keep him over there as they try to execute this bunt. And he goes for it, but doesn't get it. So the count moves to 1-1. Looked like a pretty tough pitch to try and bunt there. Obviously, you want to try and bunt a strike whenever possible, but sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. And I'll tell you, it might seem easy, but the worst thing is when a pitcher knows you're going to bunt and he throws a bunch of off-speed stuff, but it's in the zone. So you have to try and bunt it while it's in the zone. And obviously, you know, it's one thing to try and bunt a fastball that's moving more or less straight at you, but it's another thing to try and bunt a slider or a curveball that you kind of have to figure out not only where it's going to go in terms of a line, but the depth and the velocity of it might change depending on pretty much every curveball you throw. So certainly always wanting to, the ideal pitch to bunt is obviously a fastball in the zone. And the 2-1 is bunted, and that time he gets it down. And a nice play from Wallach, and he'll throw on to first for the sure out. But I will say, Jones did his job, as he should get picked up by his teammates in the dugout for doing his job. He got the runner over to second base. And they're going to have to trust the bottom part of the order to come through here for the Eagles.
Number 23, Eli Vasquez Garcia.
That's going to bring up Eli Vasquez Garcia, who singled in his first at-bat. And once again, if that effort is repeated. The Eagles are likely to tie the game here. And the first pitch to him is swung on and fouled off to the right and out of play. For Henry Wallach, it'd be a shame to give up a run here, as it would seem a little anticlimactic for a single bunt single to end your shutout so far. But I have seen worse things happen at this point. The 0-1. That one gets behind the batter and past Barcina. And so now a single will most certainly score the runner as he moves up 90 feet to third. And so now Wallach in danger here of allowing the tying run to score here in the 7th. And obviously nobody warming up for the Bruins, and nobody has had to so far, as Wallach has pitched absolutely fantastic so far. And still obviously a chance to get out of this, although the infield is still playing back here, or at least the middle is, and a chopper to third, and he's going to come home. And a throw from Wood is low, and so the run's going to score, and everybody's going to be safe. And Wood had a chance there to get the runner home, and I'm surprised that he went. That was certainly a gamble, but it ended up working out for the Eagles. And so that is going to be an unearned run for Henry Wallach, if that's any consolation, which I'm sure it isn't at this point. That's going to bring up Jacob Barjol. I got a little ahead of myself there, excuse me. And the 1-1, and that pitch is drilled down the left field line, and that's going to get foul for strike one. Just a loud foul ball there, ultimately. And sad for Henry Wallach to lose your shutout that way, especially when you know you had a chance and you did your job to get out of that. But unfortunately, the second error of the day on Daniel Wood will cost them a run this time.
No.
And the 0-1 swung on and hit down the third base line, and again, just foul, as Barjol just not able to keep it fair both times in this at-bat. And Wallach looking to bounce back here and get out of this inning without any further damage. And obviously, you know, one run is normally not going to be enough to beat anybody. But the fact that the Bruins have led for this long, certainly a good chance for them to pick up win number 1 on the year in this one. Possibly their best chance so far this year.
1-1 game.
And in a game like this, where runs have been at a premium, and that one outside, it can be reasonably deducted that another run might win you the game if you're either side here, based on how each side has pitched so far. Obviously, that might not be the case, and a curveball just misses. I know Wallach thought he had that one, and so did the Bruins dugout, but he did not get the call, so the count moves full. But anyways, it is reasonable to say that one more run might win you the game if you're the Bruins or the Eagles, based on the way both teams have pitched today. And that one's in the dirt, and it's going to get by the catcher, but it was ball 4 anyway. So runners will be on first and second with just one out here, and I'm interested to see if the Bruins start warming anybody up or have a mound visit or something along those lines. That's going to bring up Wyatt Helvey. And it looks like they're going to have a pinch runner here. And that's going to bring in Kyle Peckham, who's going to pinch run.
Coming on to pinch run for Toccoa, number 16, Kyle Peckham.
Taking the place of Barjol. So Barjol will exit after a really nice at-bat there, as certainly if you are the Eagles, you have not had a lot of chances to score in this one, and so you have one now. You've already scored one. You definitely don't want to blow this chance to take the lead, as you already have the momentum in this inning. And when runs are hard to come by as they have been in this game, you don't know how many chances you're going to get here. And the umpires are going to convene here as both coaches are talking here. And not sure what the confusion is. Perhaps it's about the pinch runner. As Barjoul is the catcher, so I'm not sure if... And, yep, it's the same thing that we've seen a few times so far this year, as a team that's not in the NCCAA is used to being able to have a courtesy runner for their catcher. So that's what happened there, and so now they had to be told that you cannot have a courtesy runner for your catcher. And now a runner is going to be...
Wait, no,
Actually, there might be a pinch hitter here. I don't really know what's going on now. Nope, that is Wyatt Helvey, excuse me. So I'm not really sure what happened there. Maybe they were going to do a pinch hitter, but they decided against it in that case. So Wyatt Helvey will grab a bat here, as Henry Wallach got a chance to take a break and reset there. Might be good for him at this point, as he is now trying to tiptoe his way out of this jam. And a bunt showed there by Helvey, but that one is outside, and so that's ball one. And the 1-0 is a curveball that is ripped out to left field, but pretty much right at Colby Hogan, as he really didn't have to move with that one. So unlucky there for the Eagles, but that's out number 2. And I know the Bruins will take that at this juncture, as they just want to get out of this inning without giving up that lead, as it puts them in a position to
Now at the plate for Toccoa,
have the last chance to bat with the lead.
Noah Davis.
Or at least with the tie, as Noah Davis, the leadoff hitter for the Eagles today, will step up to the plate with a chance to blow this game open at least a little bit. That one is chopped over to Conley Burke, and he will tap and fire on to first, and he's out. And that was a very close play at first. Burke took his time, but just got him by about half a step. So a good play from Burke, and it gets the job done, and we will head to the bottom of the 7th with the score now tied at 1-1.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 1, Chad Bain.
All right, and so we are here in the bottom of the 7th in this 1-1 ball game as the 9-hole hitter Chad Bain will tap that to third, and a nice play by the third baseman, and he'll fire on to first for out number 1. And the Bruins bats, man, ever since the second inning have gone almost dead silent other than a Daniel Barcina double an inning ago. It's pretty much been the only action that they have seen as Hyde has really settled into this ball game.
Now to bat number 5, Riley Ramsey.
That is going to bring up Riley Ramsey, the leadoff hitter, so a good opportunity for the Bruins if they could get some base runners to scrap out another run here in the 7th, as that one misses for ball 1. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. And another off-speed pitch and another swing and a miss. And that has been the formula today for Hyde. So many off-speed pitches, and I don't blame him with the amount of swings and misses he's been getting and the amount of weak contact he's been getting from those pitches. I certainly don't blame him for keeping on going to that well. And the 2-1 outside, and I actually could hear through my headphones one of the Bruins in the dugout yelling, "Leave it," as in leave that pitch there because it was a ball. And they certainly have tried to make that adjustment on those off-speed pitches. The 3-1 is in there for a called strike 2, so the count moves full here as Riley Ramsey trying to get something going in the bottom of the 7th after the Bruins lost their lead in the top half of this inning. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Hyde really figuring it out here, as that's going to be out number 2. It's going to bring up Colby Hogan.
Now to bat number 36, Colby Hogan.
Did you ever run for president, or were you ever president? Oh, vice president.
And that pitch is outside for ball 1. Count moves to 1-0.
You know Braden Toccoa? Did you ever meet him? Brian? No, Brian's older brother. Oh, okay. So I knew Brian a little bit, but I didn't know his older brother.
And the 1-0 is inside. So Hogan in a good hitter's count here. And, he'd love to find a gap here and at least get on second to give Cole Pearson an opportunity to get him in, and he'll look for that pitch here. The 2-0. Swung on and hit out to left field. And that's going to be a tough play, and that's going to land fair. And just what the doctor ordered, that's going to keep on rolling, and Colby Hogan going to put on the brakes, probably smartly there. And just what the doctor ordered, a double here, and that's going to give Cole Pearson the chance with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position to get the second run on the board for the Bruins.
Now at the bat for the Bruins, number 38, right fielder, Cole Pearson.
Okay.
And that was a great effort out there by the left fielder. But unfortunately, did not get it, and a good curveball from Pearson, from Hyde, and Pearson swings and misses for strike 1. And that, again, has been the formula all day. Curveball, swing and miss. Curveball, swing and miss. Curveball, swing and miss. It's pretty much what it's been all night. And the 0-1. Another curveball and another swing and miss. Count moves to 0-2, and I'll give you $5 if this is anything other than a curveball here.
Is that what you did? Okay, I thought you were getting called. They're having music for the order game? Yeah, no, man.
And it was a curveball, but he hits that one up the middle for a base hit. Cole Pearson, and they stopped the runner. And I thought that was going to be the chance there, but the runner held up at third as coach didn't feel like that was hit hard enough to get the runner in. And honestly, that was a good throw, so that might have been a smart call, but certainly not a popular one with our fans here. But that's going to bring up Zach Burke, and that might be all for Hyde today. And certainly, even though we are supposed to be a little bit more biased towards Bob Jones, He should deserve a standing ovation for the way he has pitched for the Eagles today. He has kept them in this ball game when his offense has not really given him much today. And if you woke him up this morning and told him that he was going to pitch 6 2/3 innings of one-run baseball, he would have said that we have a really good shot of winning today, and rightfully so. And so certainly none of this is on him in terms of a win or a loss. Well, a win would be on him, but a loss certainly would not be. But it looks like he's going to stay in here. So his story is not over yet for this game. And Zach Burke, one of the hottest hitters in the lineup for the Bruins so far this year, will step up here to try and get that run home from third, if not more. And again, the Bruins still looking for their first win of the season, and this is probably the best chance that they've had. Swung on and hit towards the hole. Going to be a tough play, and that gets by, and that's going to be a base hit. Zach Burke comes through, and the Bruins take a 2-1 lead late here in the 7th. Tough luck for Hyde there, as he got very soft contact, which is all you can ask for. But unfortunately, that ball had eyes, and it found a hole in the infield. And that's going to bring up Daniel Barcina, who doubled deep to right in his last at-bat, and I'm sure the Bruins would certainly take that result again. The first pitch to him in the dirt. Count moves to 1-0. And I could tell you for free that Hyde was not going to throw him a pitch to hit like he did in that last at-bat where Barcina was sitting on a fastball in the zone all the way. Hyde certainly going with a different plan there. The 1-0. And a good, looked like a slider there almost, but Barcina was way out in front of him, maybe a changeup. Couldn't exactly tell from this angle. But a good pitch nonetheless, and the count moves to 1-1. The 1-1. That one misses. Count moves to 2-1. And cannot understate how big that hit by Zach Burke was to give the Bruins a late lead here in the 7th. And that one's in the dirt. And a nice stop there by the catcher. And it looks like he hurt himself. And smartly, he calls time. And I'm not sure where that hit him, but I'm hoping that did not hit him where the sun don't shine. So, looks like she's checking his eyes maybe. Making sure that he knows where he is and everything. Maybe he got in the head. Again, I couldn't really tell on the stream. Maybe one of you guys could see it better than I could on the stream, but I don't really know. Certainly taking a lot longer than I anticipated to make sure that he's all right, so not really sure what the issue is again. And he's picking up his mask, and my guess is he's going to try and stay in. And he is, so he appears to be okay. So Barcina now in a 3-1 count. Runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, with the Bruins leading 2-1. The 3-1. Swung on and ripped down the line, but that's well foul. Barcina got his pitch to hit, and he unfortunately could not keep it fair. So the count moves full. And I would be surprised if Hyde does not retire Barcina here, if he stays in this game. I'd be very surprised. And time is called, I believe, by the catcher.
Really? I've seen parts of it. And it had everyone that I knew. It was Jack. I think it was
And the full count, and it is swung on and missed. And a big pitch from Hyde there as Barcina is retired for out number 3. But the Bruins do get a run to retake the lead in the bottom of the 7th. So we'll head to the top of the 8th with the Bruins nursing a narrow 2-1 lead.
Now batting for Toccoa, number 6, Jack Krause.
All right, and we are back here in the top of the 8th as Henry Wallach will fire that one in there, and Riley Ramsey times that one up, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Jack Krause being aggressive and swinging at the first pitch and hitting it pretty well, but unfortunately hung up just long enough for Ramsey to get underneath it and make the catch for out number 1. That's going to bring up the 3-hole hitter for
number 33, Caleb Adams.
The Eagles, Caleb Adams. And the first pitch from Wallach to him is swung on and fouled off to the right. And I'm a little surprised, honestly, that the Eagles continue to be this aggressive this late in the game, down by just 1, as it has really not worked being that aggressive against Wallach so far today. You'd figure that as I believe, helicopter is passing over us, so the game will pause for just a moment. But the 0-1 is swung on and popped in the air and out of play again. But anyways, it really just has not worked to be that aggressive against Wallach all day. Only 1 run to show for it, and it happened last inning on an error. So quite frankly, I don't know why they are continuing to be this aggressive, as that one is ripped up the middle for a base hit, and Wallach hung a curveball on 0-2. And against a good hitter like Adams, that's just never going to work out for you. But no damage done as of yet, and nobody in the bullpen for the Bruins. So this is Henry Wallach's game for sure, and certainly he has earned it. And that's going to be Charlie Compton stepping up to the plate here. The lefty looking to keep things going for the Eagles as that one swung on and hit out of play off to the left. And for Henry Wallach, as you usually would, a double play in this instance is probably what you're looking for to get out of this inning quickly, swiftly, and efficiently. And the 0-1. Swung on and lined to short. And a throw back over to first. But Adams able to get back just in time. And so 2 line drives here in this inning. Actually 3, and only 1 resulting in a base hit for the Eagles. So certainly luck playing a factor here, as the Eagles are putting together some good swings late against Wallach. But unfortunately, a lot of them have not resulted in what they are looking for. It's going to bring up Cloutre, Chathan Cloutre, excuse me. And that one's in there for a called strike as Wallach looks to get out of this inning unscathed, and he's well on his way to doing so. And the 0-1 is swung on and ripped into left field. And Hogan started in, but he makes the recovery. And wow, if he was not able to make that catch, that could have been trouble. But he's able to reach out and make the catch. So 3 hard-hit balls in this inning, actually 4, and only 1 single to show for it. And Henry Wallach gets out of the inning. And so we'll head to the bottom of the 8th as the Bruins are going to want and probably need some insurance runs as we'll head to the bottom of the 8th with the Bruins winning 2-1.
Now off the bat for the Bruins, shortstop number 9, Conley Burke.
All right, and we are back here as Conley Burke will lead things off in the bottom of the 8th. Bruins are leading 2-1. So certainly Bruins performing admirably today. And that one is swung on and hit high in the air out to fairly straightaway central. Center fielder backs up and makes the catch for out number 1. And the Bruins are certainly looking for some insurance runs here as Wallach, I mean, there's nobody warming up in the bullpen, so I can only assume that this is Wallach's game to lose. And certainly any insurance runs would help him feel better, as obviously one missed pitch could spell a tie game, especially this late. As Shane Perush will step up to the plate. I'm not sure why I hesitated there. That one's in for a strike. And interestingly enough, Hyde is also still out there. I figured that he would be done. But certainly he's back out there. And that one swung on and fouled off. Not to say he hasn't earned being back out there. He certainly has. As both pitchers have really performed fantastic today. And the 0-2. Swung on and hit out to second base, and he'll fire on to first for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for the Bruins, and that's going to bring up Daniel Wood, the third baseman.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 29, Daniel Wood.
And you know that the Eagles would love for Hyde to have a quick 1-2-3 inning here as a nice cherry on top of a great day for him. That one's in there for a called strike. Certainly it would be soured if the Eagles were to lose, of course. Sometimes you feel like a great performance like that is wasted when you don't pick up the victory from it. And that one swung on and missed. And another great off-speed pitch from Hyde. And the Bruins just have had no answer for that curveball all day except for that Cole Pearson single in the last inning on an 0-2 curveball.
I feel like I should be helping you, Kate.
And that one swung on and missed, and Hyde comes out and shuts down the Bruins in the 8th. So the Eagles will have a chance in the top of the 9th. All they need is a run to tie the game. But we'll head there when we come back. Bruins up 2-1.
Okay.
Final inning. Can the Bruins hang on?
Now stepping in for the Screaming Eagles, number 75, Jared Jones.
All right, folks. This is the biggest inning of the year for the Bruins, hands down, as Henry Wallach serves that one up. First pitch for a base hit. So not a good start here in the top of the ninth for the Bruins, as Henry Wallach looking to complete what may very well be the best pitching performance in the history of the Bruins baseball team. I don't know much about the history of it, but it's going to be hard to find a better pitching performance than this. And if Henry Wallach can close it out with a victory, what a day that would be. But he's got to get through the Eagles first. As runner on first and nobody out, first pitch is swung on and hit down the third base line, and foul for strike one. So Eli Vasquez Garcia will step up here and try and keep this inning going for the Eagles, as obviously the leadoff guy getting on is what they needed in a butt. And man, that was very close to hitting Garcia. Honestly, if he had just pulled that bat back, I think that ball might have hit him. But nonetheless, he does his job. He gets the bunt down. So now runner in scoring position with one out. And Jacob Barjul will step up to the plate. Here, the catcher for the Eagles tonight
Jacob Barjul.
almost was lifted a few innings ago. Miscommunication on courtesy runners again. It's happened a few times this year, but he's still in there. And the first pitch is swung on and hit out to left field. Hogan will run it down and make the catch for out number 2. And Henry Wallach looking to complete probably the game of his life today, if he can finish this one off. But in order to do that, he's got to get through Wyatt Helvey, the number 9 hitter for
Now batting for Toccoa, number 8, Wyatt Helvey.
the Eagles, and a big spot for the number 9 hitter here. And the first pitch just misses off the inside part of the plate. Good pitch from Wallach, excuse me.
Drive here with the AC on and leave with the heat on.
And the 1-0. Popped up. In play. Barcina cannot make the play. That was tough. That was pretty much right against the wall. So a tough play there, especially having to sprint after it, not really having much opportunity to figure out his bearings. So that will fall harmlessly to the turf as the count moves to 1-1.
You think we have 200, 300 here? 200? I don't know about 300.
The 1-1. In there for a called strike 2. And Helvey is not happy, as he feels like that really may cost him here. And the Bruins are 1 strike away, folks. And the Bruins dugout trying to fire up the fans. The 1-2. Oh, and he just misses off the outside part of the plate. That was very similar to the last pitch, but I do think that was just a little bit more outside. So the count moves to an even 2-2. Last chance for the Eagles, the 2-2, swing and a miss! Henry Wallach finishes it, and the Bruins are winless no more. What may very well be the best pitching performance in the history of this Bruins team. Granted, only a couple years old, but still, this one's going to be hard to top. Henry Wallach, a complete game, only giving up 1 run, and it was an unearned run at that. A fantastic performance by Wallach and a fantastic performance by the Bruins. Can't say a whole lot more than that. The offense didn't really do all that much, but they did just enough to pull out the victory, which at the end of the day is all that matters. And once again, what a performance by Henry Wallach. 9 innings of 1-run baseball. And the Bruins pull it out here on this beautiful Friday night here in March. And it has been an absolute privilege, an absolute pleasure to be the one to call this game for all of you at home who could not be here to witness this in person. Fantastic game, fantastic night, and I wanted to say thank you all so much for joining us. Bruins 2, Eagles 1. The Bruins get their first victory of the year, and with that, I say to you, God bless, and go Bruins. I'll see you all tomorrow.